On the docket we got here is mind over matter. And we more so talking about how the money was there for Matt Stafford. The Raiders wanted to offer him a big contract. The Giants was even trying to give him a bag. He said, you know what? Home is where the heart is. I should have said that home is where the mat is. That's exactly what happened because it's reported that Matt Stafford is staying with the actual Rams. I think they're going to restructure his contract so he can remain with the team. And this is your guy from the Lions. You've been supporting Matty. Even when Tomo still want to throw shots in there, you've been supporting Matty. But how you feeling?
Feel good, man. Because it's funny. I'll take y'all a little bit behind the scenes. The original question would have been, where would Matt Stafford play? And my answer to that question before this news was, he's staying in LA. Why wouldn't he? Man, he's old, man. He was part of the '08 draft class, I believe, somewhere around that time. He's old, man, and nobody's trying to pay him $50 million. I'm sorry, Matt. I love you to death. 50 M's though is insane for a guy your age. Sorry, not sorry. So my answer would have been he stays in LA, and then the news breaks they're going to restructure his contract, and I'm just like, good, because this is where Matty should end his career. He should end his career in LA. Him and Sean McVay, they've been able to work wonders in LA. When guys go down, the defense isn't as great. Which I tried to tell y'all, the defense for the Rams this past season was better than people gave it credit for. They've been able to work wonders. They made the playoffs for 3 of the last 4 years. They won the Super Bowl their first year together. Match made in heaven, and I think this is where Matty should end his career. I also saw that they were thinking about moving on from Matty because of his wife. Hope Matt Stafford has a little talking to, so his wife just like chill a little bit. Even though I don't know what she be saying, I did dislike when she came out and said about Matt Stafford, maybe to start the year, about the whole college thing, about how she, did my dog dirty. Like, that was unnecessary. You didn't have to bring that up. Like, why are you doing that? Like, what was the purpose? But other than that, I really don't know what she be doing for real. But yeah, maybe had that talk. Like, look, let me get my money first. Once it's all said and done, you can do whatever you feel like you need to do. But let me just secure the future for our kids. But all in all, I'm happy. I think Matt Stafford's going to have another good year with the Rams once they figure out this whole Cooper Kupp situation going into the offseason and the draft. I think he's going to have a good year. I think the Rams and both Matt Stafford and the Rams made the right decision.
I agree with you on that one. And the one thing about the Rams is they have a GM that's going to make things shake. Because I'm with you on that Rams defense. It was definitely it was frowned upon because everyone was like, well, Aaron Donald's gone. What are they going to be? And boom, they draft 2 great players. Jared Verse is now out there. His name is out there now because of what he was doing in the Eagles game. Well, before the Eagles game, but what he also did in the Eagles game. But he's been balling. So they're going to find ways to make things shake. I think with Cooper Kupp, they're still trying to figure out if they can get some draft picks back on that, maybe. But for Matt Stafford, if I'm him, I'm looking at the other 2 teams that were offering me money, and it's like, do I really want to go there for that headache? Like, look at what the Giants just did. They literally just let Saquon walk. And then they were like, well, do we really want to pay a quarterback? Which is also a funny thing because they want to talk about how they didn't want to pay a quarterback that amount of money and hand the ball off to a running back with that amount of money. And now look at you trying to give a almost 40-year-old quarterback that much money. Like, it's just
I handed it off to a rookie. Yeah.
Like, the GM is just all over the place. I understand why the owner is now trying to sell 10% of the stake in the team because he's like, I can't deal with this no more. But Matt Stafford's like, look, man, me and Sean McVay have been here. We found ways to win games. Some people would say if it wasn't for the weather conditions, they probably beat the Eagles in that situation. If you're talking to an Eagles fan, it's the link. We already know what they're going to say there. But Matt Stafford played decent in that game, and it came down to a few plays. And you're like, why not? Why not try to run this back? I know you all going to build pieces. You're going to get pieces around me. I'm reconstructing my contract, so I trust you all with the future there. You touched on it before I could, though, Carl. So I was going to say, I don't know what the missus is doing outside of the 2 podcast runs that she had with them 2 stories. As far as what was happening in college, I didn't know it was still continuing. That it got that bad that the Rams was like, bro, we kind of want to separate ourselves from this. But in the world we live in today, what they say, no media, no press is bad press. Unless you literally coming out and saying that the Rams organization is doing bad things to their players,
Yeah.
the podcast shouldn't affect you all that much. Now, if we're wrong in that, let us know in the comments. But for me, I think this was a good move for both Matt and the Rams.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it.
Yep. So Matt,
Gives them another bridge year too to find somebody else. Whether that's I don't know. 'Cause I see everywhere my boy Jackson Dart draft stock is just skyrocketing, which I love to see it. By the way, I've been talking about Jackson Dart for at least 3-4 years.
You heard what
But
he said? You heard what he
what?
said?
No, who?
He Dart.
Nah,
He said he models his game after Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is one of his favorite quarterbacks.
I don't see Jalen Hurts and Jackson Dart. But hey, I can't say that man lying.
Hey, he said that was his favorite quarterback. I mean, if you're trying to find somebody to breed for the future, get somebody who's gonna drop some quotes on you. Just saying. I'm just saying it works. It works.
Oh
It
man.
works. Super Bowl champ, man. Matt Stafford, that is. That's who we're talking about. So we're gonna transition from the NFL to the NBA. And this is a